Are we witnessing the rise of the next Walt Disney? It might not be happening in Hollywood, but it could be happening right here in Texas. I'm Jenna, and this is Smarter News. Well, if you've ever sat down at the end of a long day and wondered what to watch, or wasted a ton of time just scrolling for something good, only to find that what you chose had a political storyline that you weren't really expecting or put you in a bad headspace that you didn't want, we have the backstory of a new company trying to solve that problem. The Wonder Project is a new independent studio that has a mission to just tell, and here I'm quoting, courageous stories that restore faith in things worth believing in. And as I've gotten to know the CEO, Kelly Hoogstraten, I'm more and more curious about whether or not we're witnessing the rise of America's next great film studio. Take a listen to our conversation and see what you think. So let me just give you a little background as to how I met Kelly. So last year, I was invited to speak on this panel, and it was about women in media. And I see Kelly's name. And so I start reading her bio. And right away, I get really intimidated because she has this incredible background at Netflix and YouTube. And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. Like we're on the same panel. It's only the two of us, I'm getting a little bit nervous. And so we sit down, we're on this panel that was a really interesting conversation. And as Kelly's speaking, I keep on wanting to interview her because everything she's saying about the importance of storytelling really resonated with me and resonates as well with our mission at Smarter News. And so, Kelly, I don't know if I told you this. I might have shared this with you. Just fast forward now. Kelly and I are friends, and that was our first introduction, but not our last. And so, after that panel, Kelly, I went home and told my husband. I said, "You know what? I think I just met the next Walt Disney." He's like, yeah. I was like, it was a great night. I think you just met the next Walt Disney. So is that, I don't mean to embarrass you, but is that a fair comparison when we're talking about the Wonder Project being a new studio? Is your vision for that to be the next Walt Disney, Paramount, MGM? Is that the direction we're going in here?
Yeah, I think it's actually, well, I'm real grateful for that comparison. But of course, like we dream big. And when we started Wonder Project, we really said we have a mission to tell courageous stories that restore faith in things worth believing in. And whether that's God or country or family, freedom, entrepreneurship, there's so many topics to cover there. And so when we think about it across television and film, yes, my hope is 25, 50 years from now that we're one of the great studios. And of course, I put Disney and Warner Brothers and NBC Universal and Paramount right up there. And we would be honored to be in that list.
Well, I just tell our audience, you heard it here first. You're getting the scoop on the Wonder Project. Tell me about the name, the Wonder Project. Where did that come from?
Isn't that a great name? So I think we were really looking for a word that would represent excellence, curiosity, and courage, and really speak to the faith and family audience. We talk a lot about the idea that we're really recognizing the fruits of the Spirit, and we're trying to just get in and help create great co-viewing for our audience, parents, grandparents, kids, things to talk about. And this one word just kept coming back because now I'm going to talk about Disney World because you just said it, but when you took your kids to Disney World for the first time and you saw it through their eyes, that was awe and wonder, And when you think about any emotion, it feels like the biggest emotion that can crack open your heart is that awe and wonder. And so it just felt exactly right for what we were trying to touch on as an emotional stake to crack open hearts.
I love the name Wonder Project. And I can imagine thinking into the future saying, who did that movie? Oh, it's a wonder, it's from wonder.
Yeah.
It's of wonder. Yeah. And it just really, it certainly does resonate. I want to talk to you about your first major release here, the series House of David. Before I get to that, I want to ask you a little bit about your background too, because clearly you saw that there was a problem that needed to be solved, that there was something missing from the marketplace. And with your background at Netflix and YouTube and just all your experience, what did you see? What did you see a few years ago where you thought, I want to try to solve this problem?
First and foremost, being a mom changes the way you look at entertainment, and really the way you look at life. I am a much more empathetic person than I was 15 years ago, because I have a lot less control than I used to think I had. But in addition to that, when we were growing up, there was that 8 o'clock hour on linear television that was really about bringing the family together. Whether that was the Wonder Years, or whether that was Family Ties, or even if you're a little bit younger, that was Friday Night Lights or Gilmore Girls. And that opportunity to say, like, we are programming for the family in the 8 o'clock linear hour. As unscripted has come into that space, and look, I love American Ninja Warrior as much as anybody, but it's different to watch that with your family than to watch a scripted show. And so when we were looking at, my time at both Netflix and YouTube was really about opening the aperture and seeing more programming, from either an on-demand lens or an open platform lens. And you do find more and more programming that way. But a lot of times that niche programming loses the focus on co-viewing for the family and is really focused on, well, there's 7 screens in the house now. Everyone has headphones and everyone's having their individualized experience. And we felt like the reality of storytelling since the beginning of time has been about community, about bringing people together. And there's this opportunity that has kind of been forgotten or not really focused on for the last 10 years to actually be the stories that bring family back together. And that's really what we were aiming to do.
So tell me about how the House of David fits into that. Why did you start with this famous story that if we just say David and Goliath, everyone, doesn't matter your faith, there's an image there for you. So why start with this project? Why was that important?
The first answer is our founder, John Irwin, is amazing. Many of you and your listeners probably recognize his name. He did I Can Only Imagine and Jesus Revolution. He's done a lot of amazing films over the past decade. And he actually went to Jerusalem when he was 16 with his dad. And in that moment really thought, like, I have a connection to David and I want to tell his story. And he started to think about and want to write that story 15 years ago. And he really believes in that 10,000 hour rule, of like, you have to master something. And he said, it took me 10, 15 years of telling stories to be ready to tell the story of David.
So this is brand new. It's just been released. What can the audience expect from this series?
Oh, I'm so excited for all of you to see it. It is a 3,000-year-old hero's journey. It is the origin story of David. David is, you can imagine, like any kid that's kind of in that moment of transitioning from boyhood to manhood. And he's trying to figure out what his purpose in life is. He doesn't want to wait. He feels like he's meant for more than just being at his dad's home raising sheep. There's so many moments in this series where you just say, like, gosh, this is so relatable to my life today, even though it was 3,000 years ago. And to just sort of see the story on film, it is epic. It was filmed in Greece over 5 months with almost 600 people on the ground helping to make this series a reality. And it feels that way. So if you love Lord of the Rings, if you love Harry Potter, if you love Luke Skywalker and Star Wars, the origins of that story all come from David.
I thought I knew the story and I went to the premiere. So I've only seen one episode. And my son, who's 10, came with me. And he's so anxious for the next several ones to watch. And he wants to move to the end because he wants to see the showdown with Goliath. But as I was watching this, I realized, wow, I was pulling together parts of a story that I thought I knew, but I didn't really know. And the sort of conversations I had with my 10-year-old on the drive home and then in the days that have followed are unlike other conversations I've had over really any work of art. I would say when I was able to take him overseas and he was able to see the Mona Lisa, we went to the Palace of Versailles, the first big family trip. We had a lot of conversations about that. But watching this less than an hour brought up so many different themes. They had many questions, but also a lot of observations as well. So I just share that as a mom for our audience because I also found myself really reflecting on it and sharing the story. And so here's a little hint. One of the things that we talked about is a theme in the first episode. Fear is a thief. So no matter where you are in your life right now, where you're listening or watching this, fear is a thief. Think about that and then go ahead and watch the first episode. But I want to go back to what you said though, Kelly. Not every project is going to be Bible-based or faith-based in a traditional way. What's the future hold? So if David is the first, then what's next?
Again, our focus is courageous stories that restore faith and things worth believing in. We're so excited to bring a contemporary family drama to the screen. This is a series called It's Not Like That. We're doing it with Amazon Prime, and we actually just announced that Scott Foley is going to be joining as the lead for that series that we'll probably start shooting later this year. We've also announced some projects that we'll be producing in partnership with Sony Pictures, with Nate Bargatze, something with Reba McEntire. We are telling the story of the Wright brothers, which we're really excited about. So as you can see, there's just amazing themes around family and entrepreneurs and history. And then we'll be doing a young George Washington film later this year as well.
George Washington, the ever popular and viral George Washington. We can't get enough of him. Okay, final question for you. As you're embarking on this huge adventure and you know what you know and you can have your vision, do you ever feel a little bit like David and Goliath, like going into this media atmosphere that it is and trying to and telling people this is the storytelling that people want. This is the storytelling we believe in.
There's a line in the first episode of House of David where David, you can tell that he is about to kind of embark on something difficult. And he says, God, grant me this ground, just one step. And I think it's such a great line to just say, like, I am here. I am a steward for the work. And I just feel grateful and blessed every day to be able to be building this company alongside such incredible talent. John Irwin and John Gunn, who have created this story and put it on the screen, have done just amazing work. And I feel like entertainment sits upstream of culture, and this is an opportunity for us to really start to change culture. And I am so grateful for the opportunity to do that.
It's really exciting. I'm excited. Again, the first release is out this week in 3 episodes. Kelly, is that correct?
3 episodes. Yes. February 27th.
Here we are. So we already watched the first one, and now I'm already going to go back home, and we're gonna watch the rest of it. So we're really excited about it. I'm excited about this adventure, Kelly, and what's to come. And thanks for letting us tell a little part of it. It really says something interesting too about the company. I'll let folks just kind of reflect on it. To have your background, also have you as a mom leading the helm here, and being accessible to talk about it versus a whole team of people that no one can talk to, really means a lot. And I think it really matters for this media environment we're in. So we're excited. Thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to see you.